Hi, welcome to my next video again on Azure cloud concept. Today we are going to talk topic related to consumption based model and shared responsibility model. These two are an important topic, though it is very small, that it plays a very crucial role in um, uh, cloud service provider and as well as on the customer side. Let's see them one by one. First one, let's talk about the consumption based model. So what is it? A consumption based pricing model is a service provision and a payment scheme in which the customer pays according to the resources whatever he uses. It can also be referred as a pay as you go billing or metered billing or usage based pricing. This consumption based model is essentially the same as that of utility computing payment structure and those of other utilities such as water and electricity. Let's see some more examples. For example, in municipal utility companies such as water and electricity service, they charge the customers a fee based upon the amount of service that customer used. Similarly, in cloud we use a consumption based model in platform as a service as well as infrastructure as a service models. For example, if you take a virtual machine, here usage, that is a compute power, and the size, that is a storage charges per day, plus networking charges by which consumption based charging is done. So a VM is charged to customer based upon the usage plus storage plus networking charges. Also note that the cost of an Azure VM depends on various factors like its size, operating system, and the region. Even though we created two VMs of the same size and the same operating system, they incur different charges if they are in a different region. Now let's see why we need consumption based model. Usage of resources varies over a period of time, and so it is good to charge to customer based on the usage. Number two, in consumption based model, there is no upfront cost, and so charge the customer on monthly basis based upon the resources consumed. Third one, there is no wasted charges, or sorry, there is no wasted resources, because in consumption based model, a customer releases a resource if he feels that it is no longer required. The fourth one, customer can stop paying the resources as soon as you need not require them anymore. So this ensures that it saves cost to customer. And the last and most important one, a very granular usage measurement can be followed in consumption based model. Other than consumption based model, there are two other approaches are available. The first one, fixed capacity model or fixed price model, in which the customer reserves a resource by making payment either upfront or end of a period and reserves a resource exclusively for his or her usage. Here, if the customer is not using it for a specific period, he will continue to accountable for the reservation. The second one is a subscription price model, where the customer pays the same amount of access to a service regardless of how much or little the service is used. For example, subscription service is in cable television, where customers pay the same amount per month regardless of how much television they watch. Now, let's see how consumption based model works. The first one, if you take compute or CPU based billing, it's a method of billing customers based on the amount of computing resources they use, they will be charged. This can be done by measuring the number of CPU cycle or the amount of time that the customer code runs on a server. And due to any of these, the customers will be charged based upon their usage. The second one is a data transfer based billing. Here, data transfer billing is a method in which the customers are all billed based upon the amount of data transfer in and out of a network or service. There are two different types: data ingress or data egress. That is, data which is coming it into the cloud network, that is ingress. Egress means the data going outside from the cloud network to the outside on premises server or some other cloud service provider or to a private cloud. The third one is API based access, where customer is charged based on the number of times the customer access the API. The fourth one is execution memory based billing, in which customer will be charged based upon the number of times the customer access. And the last one, usage pattern, it's based upon either per unit or per volume. Here, customer is billed based upon number of unit used or volume. Say for example, volume of transaction per day or number of employees use an application. So these are the different types of consumption based model available in present cloud service provider model, be it Azure or AWS. Next section is pros and cons with respect to the consumption based model. Let's first take the advantages of using consumption based model. Number one, it reduces or completely eliminates the upfront capital expenditure. Since you are going with the cloud service provider, there is no need for procurement of server, setting up the data center, network, switches, and so forth. And so there is no CapEx involved, and so it's a huge saving for the customer. Next one is flexibility. That is, pay what you use and the cost savings to the customer based upon the usage. And so it's good to the customer. Next one, it improves the utilization and reduces the overall provisioning, that ensures that the resources are optimally used. The fourth one, it reduces the risk with the try before you buy model to evaluate vendor technology. Say, for example, if you want to build up a proof of concept, there is no need to reserve huge resources or services for you from the cloud side. You can consume a service or a resource based upon the usage, and based upon the proof of concept development or outcome, you can decide whether you can continue with the resource or service. And finally, customers have more control over their expenses as they can monitor and manage their usage more very closely. And so these are the advantages going for consumption based model. Next one, the issues with the consumption based model, though I have provided only couple, but there are many. The first disadvantage is the billing process is very complex, as usage need to be accurately measured and tracked, and that will consume a lot of effort time to understand such billing process. Second one is some consumption based billing models may include additional fees such as data transfer fees or network charges. So these are the some of the pros and cons related to consumption based model. Now let's see what what is the difference between traditional purchase and the consumption based model. If you look in traditional purchase model, here on the x-axis we have time and the y-axis on the capacity. In traditional purchase model, you will start investing on procuring servers, network switches, storage, and other stuff over a period of time in order to set up your data center. And so your capital expenditure will keep on increasing it over a period of time. Say, for example, let's say this is the first 3 months and the next 3 months, and it might continue flat. That means a very high capital expenditure is required. So that is what the cost you will be spending in the traditional purchase, and your usage will be linear like this. So you will be spending huge amount of money in terms of setting up the server or data center, and thereby you are spending a capex amount. After a certain period, you will be spending some amount of money in terms of operational expenditure for managing your network and or data center. If you take The consumption based model here, same time and capacity. So the usage will be something like this, and you will be paying only to the usage whatever you have done. That is, you are going to save this much amount of money compared to traditional purchase. And this makes the difference between traditional purchase and the consumption based model. Now let's consider an example on responsibilities. While talking about responsibility, let us take example of an office. It is your responsibility as a software developer to code the requirements given to you. And so you have to code it, compile, and then deliver it as per the requirements given to you. Second case, if you take it is a responsibility of your manager to call for a meeting by scheduling a meeting with the required participants. So he will identify the required participants, including you, and then call for a meeting on a date, time, and on a location where the meeting is going to help. So it is his responsibility. And then it is responsibility of you, your manager, and your colleagues. Whoever asked you to attend the meeting need to attend the meeting. So three different situations, three different responsibilities. Like this, as a customer of a cloud, you have some responsibilities while taking care of cloud resources. So, as a service provider, it is responsibility of the cloud service provider to take care of cloud resources, and sometimes it is joint responsibility between you and the cloud service provider to work together. What I'm trying to say here is, as a customer, you have some responsibility. As a cloud service provider, Microsoft Azure has some responsibility. And when you guys work together, that is you and the CSP work together, both of you have some common responsibility to take care of the resources for which that you are assigned or you will be working on. So this get into a topic called shared responsibility model. Now let's take the biggest topic, that is shared responsibility model. As we have seen in the previous slide, you cloud service provider as well as both of you should have to work together to share the responsibility. So in this model, it is a security and a compliance framework that outline the responsibility of cloud service provider and the customers for securing every aspect of the cloud environment, including hardware, infrastructure, endpoints, data, configurations, setting, operating system, network, and other services which are available for you to deploy your application, or services which are all available for your consumption. So here in the in the shared responsibility model, Azure as a cloud service provider takes care of security of the cloud, whereas in the customer should have to take care of security of the the information that is owned by the customer. Say for example, in Azure they will take care of the network, data center, and all physical stuff whatever they offer to various customers. From customer perspective, you have to take care of your data. You know the end point of the web API or RESTful services. You need to take care of account and access management or access provision that you have given to the employees or the customers. So these are the two things that should have to be taken care by the cloud service provider and the customer. Let's see some more examples. The responsibility can be, I have shown some examples of responsibility areas, and then I grouped them in terms of software as a service, platform as a service, or infrastructure as a service, and then finally on premises. If you look here, the complete blue is meant for customer. If you see the last column, that is on premises, that is fully owned by customer, which means that cloud service provider plays no role in that one. be it information and data or physical data center, whatever it is, everything at on premises need to be taken care by the customer. Whereas some responsibilities again on the cloud side will be with the customer. They are information and data, whether it is related to software as a service, something like the initial customer data or account and access management, all need to be taken care in software as service by the customer. Second one, in platform as a service also information and data need to be owned by customer. Same thing for infrastructure as a service. If you take device and mobile or personal computer, again both SaaS, PaaS and IaaS should have to be owned by the customer. The reason being, the mobile device can connect to the SaaS environment. Required security patches need to be installed in the mobile or the PC through which the customer is connecting to the SaaS. So it is a responsibility of the customer provider to take care of such aspect. If it takes the third one, that is account and identities, again it is the customer responsibilities, because Azure or any cloud service provider provide interfaces or mechanism on setting up the security controls. However, you know the employees are the customers and the level of access provision that you would like to give to certain group of employees or customer. So in all the environment like SaaS, PaaS and IaaS as well as on on-premises, it is your responsibility, that is a customer responsibility to take care of account and identities. If you take next one, identity and directory infrastructure. Here, both the cloud service provider and the customer should have to work together for SaaS as well as PaaS in providing identity and directory infrastructure. As I mentioned earlier, cloud service provider will provide you an interface or security control mechanism, and they can guide you how to set up identity and access management. And so you both should have to work together in order to setting up identity and directory infrastructure for SaaS and PaaS. However, for IaaS, it will be I mean, they will provide only the hardware portion. It is the responsibility of the customer to take care of it and then start using it. Like that, for application side, if you are going for pass model, it is your responsibility and the customer as well as the cloud service provider responsibility to set the application controls. Same thing for the network control. However, for SaaS, application network control are fully owned by the cloud service provider, because cloud service provider will work with the SaaS service provider or the owner of the SaaS to set up the application initially, and that will be shared across multiple customers. Same thing for the network controls. If you take operating system, physical host and physical data center, for SaaS as well as PaaS, it is a responsibility of the cloud service provider to take care of that. For example, if there is a change or upgrade in the operating system, it is a responsibility of the cloud service provider to take care of that control. If there is security patch need to be applied on the operating system, it is the cloud service provider responsibility to take care of that. In a physical data center, if there is a need to upgrade or replace a server or a network switch, it is a responsibility of the cloud service provider to take care of it. So if you look into this diagram, there are certain responsibilities with the customer, there are certain responsibilities between cloud service provider and the customers. That means responsibilities varies with the time, and finally the responsibility, some of them is fully owned by cloud service provider. And another important thing, if you watch both at on premises at IaaS, the security and other control responsibility is fully owned by the customer. And I hope this video is helpful to you to understand the shared responsibilities between customer and the cloud service provider. If you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell, and you will be notified as and when I publish a new video. As usual, this is not the end of the session. We will be continuing with a newer topic sometime tomorrow. Till then, stay safe and bye now.